G Tunica Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Welcome to Sports 56 Happy Hour with Johnny Radio. The first hour of Sports 56 Happy Hour is brought to you by MemphisFarmers.com. Insurance coverage backed by a local agent and a brand trusted nationwide. We are farmers. MemphisFarmers.com. Now, here is your host, Johnny Radio himself, John Harden.
Yo, 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 welcome into Little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your good buddy Johnny Radio, and I'm so fired up to be with you on this beautiful Wednesday. I can't even tell you how excited I am. I got Gabe Kuhn on the other side of the glass at G_Kuhn71. Follow me at Johnny_Radio, and never forget, we're streaming live, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and check us out at sports56whbq.com. We got a big show for you today. We got Shaq news. The Big Samaritan is what I like to call him. The Big Samaritan. Isaiah Thomas. Most people think of Isaiah Thomas. Do you think they think of the Pistons guy? Or do you think of IT, the younger guy? He's back in the league. He's wearing Kobe Bryant's jersey. He actually went off. We're going to talk about him as well. And my favorite person in 2017 has now broken my heart. But I'm going to talk about this. Travis Rudolph. He's in a very, very bad situation. But you remember, do you even know this, Gabe Kuhn? Do you know Travis Rudolph, the Florida State player?
Yes, I do.
Did you remember when he sat down with Bo, the young kid with autism at school?
Yes,
in
when no one was sitting with him.
Yep, nobody was sitting with him, and he ate pizza with him, and he talked with them. There's always two sides of a story. There's always two sides to people. We're going to get into that during Hardenwood. Travis Rudolph, who was one of my favorite all-time football players and favorite people in the world, he has now been arrested for attempted murder and, guess what else, Gabe Kuhn? Murder. So, one person's dead. Another person is fighting for their life. He is in jail, and we'll talk about Travis. But again, it is just kind of crazy when you think about it. 2017, when this guy was sitting down with Bo, a young man, and it went completely that was the most viral thing that I saw at that time. And it's one of those things that you love and you appreciate. And you were like, man, I want to be like Travis Rudolph. Well, again, today, you don't want to be like Travis Rudolph because he is facing murder charges. We'll talk about Shaq. We'll talk about Bo. We'll talk about IT. We'll talk about Sean Miller don't have no job, man. It's about time. How long does the FBI have to investigate you before you lose your job? In all honesty, Gabe Kuhn, if the FBI came up to Sports 56, we're over here, chilling on Mount Moriah. If they walked in there like, hey, Mr. Harden, I would like to talk to you about Gabe. This is the FBI. I think Gabe is I don't know. Let's just say something common. Never mind. Let's just say you're a bad person. Because if the FBI is looking at you, we'll just say, would you not be like, sorry, peace, brother?
What cracks me up is just how much differently, school to school, they handle these things. We saw last week Bill Self get his lifetime contract.
Because he has
he's dealing with similar.
His boss right now.
And that Kansas basketball program is dealing with similar things that the Arizona program's dealing with right now. But Sean Miller shown the door.
12 years. How many Final Fours did he go to? None. He went to a few Elite Eights. He did pretty good. He won a bunch of Pac-12 championships. But do you know what he did the most of? He sweat more than anybody I've ever seen in my life. Have you ever seen anybody that sweat that much?
Buzz Williams does some sweating, too.
Okay, Buzz. Okay.
Buzz does. Come on.
Okay.
He does some sweating, too. Bruce
Buzz
Pearl does some sweating. But no, Sean Miller, he has the most iconic sweating picture, though, where he's literally in a white shirt and you can see
both of
it looks like he's in a wet T-shirt contest.
It does look like a wet T-shirt contest. Oh, I can't wait to talk about it. We have so much stuff to get into today. It's going to be a beautiful show. Make sure you check us out on 70236 on the text line, 70236. Hit us up, text us. We're going to wrap all day long. We have Anthony Sain at 1:30. We're going to talk Grizzlies. We have Russell Copeland at 2 o'clock. We're going to talk the National Football League and Hardwood because dadgummit, it feels so good. We're going to do that at 2:30. But we're about to get into the leadoff. Before we get into the leadoff, I got to say one thing that's very important. My good buddy Chad Gatlin. Yeah, he is the all-encompassing insurance agent. Auto, home, life, business, whatever you can think of, he has you covered. You don't need but one number, 901-235-1176. You call my buddy Chad, he's going to take care of everything. He's also a Memphis man. He knows this area. He knows the people. He knows what you need, and he knows everything that you don't. So he's going to give you the best possible price. He's going to give you nothing but love. Call him up at 901-235-1176 or get a fast quote at memphisfarmers.com. Mr. Gabe Kuhn, guess where I'm at? I'm in the box.
All right, let's go ahead and start. Obviously, we have 1:30. We have Anthony Sain to talk about what the Grizzlies did last night. Took care of business on the road against a good Heat team, 2 o'clock. Russell Copeland. But let's start here. We just talked about it. Sean Miller out at Arizona after 12 years. We know about the FBI investigation and his issues with what the NCAA calls promoting an atmosphere of compliance. 5 level 1 violations probably led to his dismissal. They have an impending IARP investigation. That's the biggest issue. But I think Arizona is still a good job in the grand scheme of college basketball. What names do you think should come up in the conversation for finding Sean Miller's replacement?
All right, so there's a couple obvious ones out there. I'm going to bring up one, though, before I get into, I love Damon Stoudemire. I mean, you talked about this before the show. Damon Stoudemire, somebody that is, Arizona, that would bring that back, I think is a great idea. But, dude, what is Luke Walton doing?
Coaching the Kings?
The Sacramento Kings. Who cares about the Kings? I haven't cared about the Kings since they had Jay Will and Chris Webber. You know what I mean? Dude, who cares about the Kings? So if Luke Walton, he's a West Coast guy, he went where?
Arizona.
Oh, so yes, I wanted to jump all over Damon Stoudemire, but let's be real. He's 41 years old. He knows the sport. He knows how to recruit. He's been in the NBA. Would he leave the Kings to take a college coaching job? And I'm going to tell you this. Why not? Less pressure, more money, and if you get like Bill Self, you can write your own deadgum contract. I think Luke Walton is the person that Arizona should go after. I know Damon Stoudemire is at the top of everybody in their grandmother's list, and you brought him up, and I liked it. But then I started looking at it. Who's more accomplished right now? Truly. Is it Damon Stoudemire or is it Luke Walton?
To be honest, I think at the college game, Damon Stoudemire. Now, obviously, Luke Walton has gotten into that situation because of ties that he has with the NBA and his dad and everything else. So I think Luke Walton would be a name that comes up, but I'm not sure that he'd leave the Kings for that job. Now, I will say this.
Why not?
I will say this, though.
It's the Kings.
And let me say this. It's not about leaving. I think he might get fired here eventually. Let's just be real. The Kings have been less than stellar since he's gotten there, and they've had some talent, so you sort of wonder. But I like Damon Stoudemire, man. I do.
All right,
He's
much do you know
paid
about
his
the
dues,
Pacific
man.
Tigers?
He has paid his dues. I'm going to be
dues?
completely honest. He's been with Memphis. He was with the Grizzlies. He was with Memphis. He was with Arizona as an assistant from 2013 to 15. And he's been at Pacific since 2016.
For 5 years
And
now.
he turned them around. Let's be real. They were terrible before he got there. He got them to a 23-10 season last year and competing. So I like the Damon Stoudemire thought. The only thing I don't like is the fact that Damon Stoudemire, upon arrival, if he did get hired, would have to deal with all the investigations and everything else and probably deal with a loss of scholarship and other repercussions from the violations that happened under Sean Miller.
Okay, now, we saw Scott Drew. We saw Scott Drew survive Dave Bliss. He took 18 years to build that program, went and won a national championship. Is that the kind of do you think Arizona out in the Pac-12, who did such a great job in the tournament, do you really think that it's a rebuilding? Even if they lose a bunch of scholarships, even if they have the NCAA and Mark Emmert come down and slap them, Is it still going to be anything like what Scott Drew had to rebuild?
Not even close.
See, I don't think so either. Like Damon Stoudemire, Luke Walton. There's so many coaches, but this is Arizona. Do people forget who actually used to coach there? Like, do they remember what Arizona was about? I don't know, man. We'll see. But it's going to be an interesting thing. I like Damon Stoudemire. He's done a great job at Pacific. He did a great job at Memphis. He does defense. He had the number 64.9% of his possessions defensively. They were 45th nationally that they basically didn't let you score. That is a good coach. If you can teach up kids how to play defense, we watch Penny Hardaway do this. Yes, we have to get rid of our turnovers, but defense wins championships. I like Damon, but I still think because I love Bill Walton and he's a deadhead and he's awesome, I like Luke right now.
Now that's something that's going to have to be a situation where he's gone from the Kings though first. But I do think it's not even close. And you brought up Baylor. It's not even close to that. Obviously, I think this is just when you talk about recruiting violations. It's not like it's not like a murder. And
it is not a murder.
Violations
You're right.
at the same time. But Lute Olson made that Arizona program into a borderline. I would say blue blood borderline. So I think that's a good job, and a lot of names will be considered, and a lot of people will consider taking that job when it's all said and done. Now, let's move on to some NFL. And Warren Moon today was on NFL.com's Huddle and Flow podcast with Jim Trotter. And he, of course, a Hall of Fame quarterback, has predicted that there's going to be a very substantial QB move in the next couple years, and he's talking about Russell Wilson. He says, I think it's kind of headed, unfortunately, in the same direction of Marshawn Lynch and Richard Sherman. So I think he's definitely there this year, unless they want to take a hit and not become a really good football team for a year or so. But I think that the marriage is not going to end very well, and I think it will end down the road. Now, Wilson has 3 years left on his contract. How likely do you think it is that he actually lives out those 3 years in Seattle?
Not very. I agree with Warren Moon. You saw Marshawn Lynch, didn't you? You saw Richard Sherman. You saw his notes. You saw what he said. He said, I think it's kind of headed, unfortunately, in the same direction as Marshawn Lynch and Richard Sherman. He came out and basically said where it's going. Tom Brady left the Patriot way. That's the only thing he knew was the Patriot way, and he left. Quarterback Joe Montana left the 49ers and went to Kansas City. How many times does it end where it's just a perfect thing? Like Dan Marino, he didn't win a championship, but yes, he was able to retire a Miami Dolphin. How many times does that happen in the National Football League? It really doesn't. You have a strict salary cap. Ballers want to get paid. Ballers want to be ballers. And you know what? After a long time, you want to kind of be your own boss. And Russell Wilson, by the way, just to also remind you this, have you seen his girlfriend? Her name is Sierra. She is a superstar. Wife, yes, wife. And do you think she wants to hang out like in Seattle? In all honesty, I mean, it rains every other day. It's not the nice, like the 12th man is a real deal Holyfield. And by the way, marijuana's legal. I like that. I like it. But dude, she needs to go to Vegas. She needs to go to Texas. I don't know why in the heck he wanted to go to Chicago. I mean, again, they haven't had a dude through for 4,000 yards since 1983. Let's be real. It's just, there's no way that this is going to end nicely. And for people to think that it's going to happen that way, I think they're just short-sighted. Like, I want the tooth fairy to bring me. I'm not losing any teeth, but I still want money under my pillow when I wake up. Santa Claus is real, and I want him to come down my chimney. But I don't have a deadgum chimney. So basically what I'm trying to say is, let's just be honest. Russell Wilson, 3rd-round pick, did a great job for Seattle. They have a Super Bowl. They don't give it to Russell Wilson as his credit. They give it to Marshawn Lynch. They give it to that defense. They look at things different. I'm telling you right now, this is going to end exactly like Warren Moon said it will.
I'm going to just throw out a different thought here. And I think it will end eventually. I don't think he lives out the 3 years in Seattle. But at what point does the Seattle front office say, are we going to win a Super Bowl with what we have on the squad right now? At what point do they say that? Because I don't think they can. And with Russell Wilson's contract and what they've signed and what they've done in the offseason, I'm not sure that they can go acquire the pieces to go compete for a Super Bowl right this second. So
why do you think they tie?
I think eventually it's going to be not just Russell Wilson saying, I want out. I think it'll be the Seahawks coming to a realization that maybe we need to move forward with a plan for the future.
Why did they just sign Tyler Lockett? Like, why did they give him that big contract if you don't want to keep Russell? You got DK. They need defense.
Now, I will say this. O-line-wise, they went and got one guy. They got Gabe
good.
Jackson from the Raiders. Good first name. They're trying to get things done to help Russell Wilson and address some needs. I just don't think 3 years in Seattle is going to be the case for him.
And just remember this. There's 32 teams in the National Football League, and I promise you, 31 teams, if Seattle doesn't want Russell Wilson, 31 other teams, they want him.
Well, we need to take a couple of those off, right? You got Patrick Mahomes set up. There's a couple teams that don't
Patrick
need
Mahomes set up. Aaron Rodgers is like, dude, Green Bay feels like they're about to get rid of him.
Let's give a number. 75% of the teams in the league will call and ask about Russell.
By the way, the Texans, do you think they take Russell Wilson right now?
Stop. And we'll talk about that. There's some updates again. Every day there's new updates now with Deshaun Watson.
By the way, is there also a name?
Yeah, there's 2 names.
Oh, I don't mind.
There's 2 names. And there's criminal complaints being sent into the Houston PD. So we will get to those updates later. But let's get to this. Masters, day 1 starts tomorrow. First group tees off at 8 a.m. I want to know, what are your best bets for Masters weekend?
All right, so are you asking, what do I really believe?
Head-to-heads, outright winners.
Simple. Here's what I got.
Anything. Give me your best bets.
I'm just going to show you my bets and tell you what I bet on, okay? How's that sound?
I guess that works.
I don't like Bryson DeChambeau. You know that, right? Cannot stand him. And by the way, I will tell you this. I was so jealous watching Vijay Singh watch him hit because I can't. Like, can you do anything that many times that fast? Like, and hit it that hard and even go straight? Like what Bryson DeChambeau was doing on the driving range the other day freaked me out so much. I put $50 on him, and guess what? It pays $600. $50 to win $600 on Bryson DeChambeau. But you know who I like a lot? I like Justin Thomas. He's $50 to win $650. Now my other one, Mr. Patrick Reed. $50 to win $1,450. Colin Morikawa, $50 to win $1,550. And then I did put $30 on Xander Schauffele, just because his name starts with an X. And I'm like, dude, X marks the spot. You know what I'm saying? $30 will win me $630. So X marks the spots. I got Xander Schauffele. I got Reed. I got Colin Morikawa. I got the dude I can't stand, Bryson DeChambeau. And I got my boy Justin Thomas. Do you like my bets? Do you agree with them? Are these 5 guys going to win? Like, are they going to place or what?
To be honest with you, I like Colin Morikawa. I think he will come in and play pretty well. Does he win the tournament outright? There's only one person to win, so I'm not sure. But I do like
$550.
I'm a fan of him as a semi-long shot going into this weekend.
Really?
I am.
So, do you think the Xander Schauffele, just because I like the X, is that crazy?
Just because you like the X, yes, that
marks the spot.
That's not great, thought process to make a bet, but maybe you could be right. It's possible.
I mean,
it's possible.
Dude, he's plus $2,000. You know what I'm saying?
Last night we had the Grizzlies game. 124-112. Good stuff by the Grizzlies last night.
Dude, we're talking with Sane about Memphis. They're playing in Atlanta tonight as well, and I don't even know what to say. I mean, they beat the brakes off the 76ers. Like, what is going on with Memphis?
76ers, no Joel Embiid, but they did do a good job. They don't usually fare well in those games. I thought last night with all the injuries, it was going to be impossible. Justice Winslow, Brandon Clark ended up being out. DeAnthony Melton out. It's just like, how did they pull that off last night? But you look at Dylan Brooks and what he did in that third quarter, 23 points. How about it, man?
Can we just be like real? If you look at this, Mike Conley is the only person who has put it in the Grizzlies' eyes in the last couple of weeks. They beat Houston. They beat up on Minnesota. They slapped Philadelphia. They beat Miami. Mike Conley in Utah, after their crazy playing thing, which Mitchell didn't even come, but Mike Conley put it straight in their eye in the fourth quarter. Let's be honest with you. John Moran had a great game, but Mike Conley was a baller shot caller. He came back. He just wanted to show his Memphis fans what he could do again. But we're going to talk with Anthony Sane on the other side. We're going to talk Memphis Grizzlies. We're going to talk about Atlanta. We're going to talk about how this Grizzlies team is winning like it's going out of style. And, oh, my goodness. Gabe, if I ask you this question, will this sound weird right now? Can the Grizzlies make the playoffs?
They can certainly be in the play-in.
Okay.
They can put themselves in position to be in the playoffs. So, yes, I will say yes, they can be in the playoffs.
Do you remember at the beginning of the year when I just wanted to have the worst record in the NBA?
Yeah, that's not happening. A little too late for that.
Not going to happen. 25-23, 2 games over 500.
Can I also point something out before we get to Anthony on the other side?
2
games in a row, and they beat 2 of the better teams in the East. Obviously, the Heat have struggled. Beat the 76ers and the Heat.
Jimmy Buckets.
John Moran only scored, 8 in the 76ers game.
Yep.
And then in the Heat game last night, only scored 10. And they still won those games. Something to keep an eye on, man. That's pretty substantial. It's a substantial development there.
All right, so can I ask you a question? Are you trying to tell me now that Dylan Brooks is our new superstar?
Well, man, we didn't get to break it. We didn't talk to Sane.
He got to 20. He had 28 points on 10 for 16 shooting, man. We're going to talk Grizzlies. We have Anthony Sane coming up. Remember one thing, MemphisFarmers.com. Get you a fast quote. Call my buddy Chad Gallen at 901-235-1176 or just go to MemphisFarmers.com. I promise you, he's got you covered. He is an all-in-one agent, auto, home, life, business. He has your back. Chad Gatlin, Daniel Gatlin, 901-235-1176. Coming up next, we're going to talk with Sane, who's with Sports 56 Mornings with Peter and Anthony from 7 to 10 every single morning. Check them out, but don't you dare touch that dial. We'll be back in 2 shakes on Sports 56, 98.5, 96.1 FM.
Same great shows.
We welcome you back to Sports 56 Middays.
What's up? It's Sports 56 Happy Hour.
A new spot on the FM dial. Check out Sports 56 on our new FM home at 98.5.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
2021 is finally here. Might I suggest we start the wonderful new year with a makeover for your beautiful house. I'm Brian Elder. I'm a roofer. I fix roofs. Don't let them tell you that it has to be replaced when all it may need is some love. 867-0303. Let me love on your roof. I've made quite the reputation over the last decade as the guy to call after the insurance company denies the claim. Overturning a claim that has gone bad is an art form where you argue county code, manufacturer specs, and details of your policy that they have to abide by. So let me see it first. If I say it's a claim, it's a claim. 867-0303. Money is free at Brian Elder Roofing with 0% financing for half a decade. I'll measure your roof from outer space and get you a quote right over the phone. 867-0303 or BrianElderRoofing.com.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
Hey, it's me, your cousin, from Boston. I'm on the radio doing ads for Sam Adams. Now I'll be known as the Sam Adams guy instead of the dude who fell in the quarry. Sam Adams Boston Lager is crisp and refreshing, which is why I bring a six-pack wherever I go, except the movies anymore. Sam Adams, from Boston with love. Here's the legal part. Watch how fast I can read. The Boston Beer Company, Boston, Mass. Drink responsibly. Now, is that 30 seconds? Are we even close?
Hi, folks. Bob Burkheim for Sunrise Chevy. You know Sunrise has the best selection, price, and has financing for everyone. But did you know you can bring your vehicle to Sunrise's award-winning, state-of-the-art certified service department no matter where you bought it? Maintenance, engine, transmission, brakes, or tires. Bring it to Sunrise. Need body work? Tell your insurance agent you want to bring it to Sunrise. Schedule an appointment at sunrisememphis.com. Find new roads to Collierville. Check out the all-new Sunrise Truck Corral. Huge selection of nothing but trucks. All makes, all models, all prices, all trucks all the time. Next to Sunrise Wolf Chase.
I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. I Buy Houses. I Buy Houses will buy a house in any area, in any condition, and yes, it's guaranteed to close in 5 days. If you need to sell your home quickly, call 901-406-1101. If you've been through a divorce, if you lost your job, if you're tired of renters, I Buy Houses can get you your money quickly. I Buy Houses will buy your home in Shelby County, DeSoto County, Memphis, Bartlett, South Haven, Horn Lake, Olive Branch, anywhere and everywhere in between in any condition. And yes, they're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Grab that pen, 901-406-1101. I Buy Houses.
Our most vulnerable veterans are isolated at hospitals. And during their greatest time of need, their loved ones can have little or no contact with them. Imagine having to shelter in place forever. Learn how you can help at healvets.org. Help Heal Veterans, with the support of citizens like you, is making things better together. Learn more at healvets.org. This message is furnished by Help Heal Veterans, a not-for-profit organization.
Welcome to Sports 56 Happy Hour with Johnny Radio. The first hour of Sports 56 Happy Hour is brought to you by MemphisFarmers.com. Insurance coverage backed by a local agent and a brand trusted nationwide. We are farmers. MemphisFarmers.com. Now, here is your host, Johnny Radio himself, John Harden.
If my words did glow with the gold of sunshine.
Welcome back into Little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your good buddy Johnny Radio. That is Jerry Garcia doing a little ripple. Where'd you get that bad boy? I love that right there. That makes me happy as can be. It is a beautiful Wednesday. I hope you're loving life out there. I know I'm loving life. I know Sean Miller's probably not loving life as much as he could. Grizzlies fans, they're loving life. They beat the brakes off the Heat. They play Atlanta tonight. They beat the brakes off the 76ers. Mike Conley's the only person who's really stuck in their eye in a while. And you know what's so great about this? Because we're going to talk Grizzlies with my good buddy Anthony Sane. Mr. Sane, how are you doing today?
Man, I'm good, man. In the middle of trash talking some of these Atlanta Hawks fans down here. They're so excited about their mediocre team, man. I guess I'm excited with them, for them as well. So,
all right,
man.
I know how that goes, and I know how that goes. It goes really big, and I'm going to ask you something before I even tell you this. I'm going to just be self-deprecating and tell you straight up. At the beginning of the year, I thought, last year, because of the bubble, because of COVID, the way the whole schedule worked out, the Grizzlies were lucky to make the postseason. They lost, of course, to Portland in the play-in game and all that good stuff, but they were lucky to get there. I wanted them to have a really bad year. They're 25-23. They're 2 games above 500. They're in the 8th spot in the West. This team actually could maybe make the playoffs. Did you, at the beginning of this season, think with no Trey J, with Ja not being able to hit a 3 to save his life, not really scoring as much, did you think that this team was going to be a playoff contender?
No, not at all. It's just a testament to Coach Taylor Jenkins, the front office things they put together, and just the individual performances of guys on this team. You had guys like Kyle Anderson, who's having his best season with the Grizzlies easily. D'Anthony Melton put in the work. He's became a knockdown shooter. Grayson Allen, his jump shot has been fantastic. You got rookies. Both rookies have came in and been able to contribute. Guys have just really stepped up this year for the most part. A lot of the guys really came in and did their thing. So, this is another unexpected season. It kind of feels like this season is worse than last season. But as far as where they were win-loss wise on the schedule, they're actually ahead of last year's pace. So, they're constantly getting better, and that's what you want to see.
Man, they are constantly getting better. And the weird thing for me, though, is watching, JV is a guy that I never, Jonas Valanciunas is somebody I never really believed in. Every single time I turn on the television, anytime I watch the Grizzlies, the dude's just getting 20 points, grabbing 10 boards. He's a double-double machine. He makes things look easy. You talked about slow-mo Kyle Anderson, the way he's finishing this year. Is it because he's healthy? Is it JV and Kyle Anderson who are actually uplifting this team, or is it Taylor Jenkins who's doing a great job coaching?
I think it's a combination of both. With Kyle, I think that his health is definitely a part of it. He had that shoulder situation that was going on for years, for the majority of his career, and he got the shoulder together, and he spent a lot of time this offseason healthy, and he was able to get up shots and just work on that jump shot. And he's been able to knock it down and be a legitimate threat as far as that 3-point shot is concerned. And as far as JV, JV put in some work too. He worked on slimming down, worked on conditioning. His footwork's gotten better, and he's kind of adjusting his role. JV's one of those guys who would have to kind of feed him the ball and kind of run plays for him. He's just kind of getting in where he fits in and getting rebounds and putbacks and, kind of scoring a little quick dump downs to the post. And he's been outstanding for us this year.
Gets in where he fits in. I like that. I like what you just said. You're exactly right. JV's doing his thing. It actually, I think of JV kind of like Timmy for the Zags and stuff. Like, I don't know what's going to happen with him in the next level, if he's going to be able to make it. But, like, JV, for me, was always an afterthought. And just the way I watch him, he's got great footwork. He can run the floor. He's gotten better condition. He grabs board. He does everything you ask of him. Kyle Anderson's playing out of his mind. But I'm going to tell you something. Is Dylan Brooks right now, is he going to hurt the Grizzlies going forward? Or is he going to help the Grizzlies going forward? Because I feel like 28 points last night, 10 of 16 shooting. Is that the real Dylan Brooks, or do we know the real Dylan Brooks?
I don't think that's the real Dylan Brooks at all. Because if that's the real Dylan Brooks, you're talking about an all-star, perennial all-star player. And I don't think that's who he is at all. Dylan's just one of those guys. He feeds off energy. And once he gets going, he's on fire, and he, I'm sure he had some Miami Heat stuff he wanted to get off, and probably something from the last game. And he gets up for big matchups. He had Jimmy Butler on the other side, who we had to defend a lot last night. And he's just one of those guys who's just a relentless player. He gives maximum effort. And back when everybody was really dumping on Dylan, a lot of the fans were really dumping on him because of how erratic he was playing and taking bad shots and all these type of things. I was one of those people that was saying, hey, I don't really knock Dylan because he's a guy he's bringing it every night. He doesn't have a night where it looks like he's not bringing maximum effort. He plays like a crazy man, like he's lost his mind. And, it's starting to pay off for him. He's starting to dial in where he's finding a combination of how to play, like his hair on his own fire and to play in control at the same time. And yesterday we saw where those two came together perfectly, and he was able to have a monster game against the Heat last night.
Man, he did have a monster game. And I got to ask, though, because usually I like to stick with the Grizzlies when I'm talking with you, but is Victor Oladipo going to be a good fit with Miami?
I think Oladipo's best years are behind him. The injury that he had, I think, set him back. It's kind of strange because Oladipo has always kind of described as being one of those humble guys who, just a good teammate and all those type of things. And then something just flipped where he just started getting super weird. He just started saying and doing some of the craziest things. And he hasn't looked good. He hasn't looked too good with the Heat so far. I'm sure they're going to try to sign him this offseason, I'm sure. But I don't know. I don't know how he's going to play out. He's a guy that I used to really like. I don't really know what's left in the tank for Oladipo as far as, how he can help Miami pass this season.
Now, the way everybody looks at Miami Heat, and you got Jimmy Buckets, and they just added Victor Oladipo, but everybody looks at that team, and it's always Riles and Eric Spoelstra. Eric Spoelstra, he has been the coach for Miami. He's a winner. He's a baller shot caller. Was Eric Spoelstra out-coached last night by Taylor Jenkins?
Yeah, I think he was. Taylor was even able to go deep into the bench yesterday. He had a lot of guys out, and he used a lot of guys. Jenkins doesn't believe in if you got 3 guys out, you just play 7. He's going to pull 3 more off the bench. He's going to play 10, regardless.
Oh, I love that. I love it.
So he was able to go pretty deep in the bench, and he was able to, get guys to show up in the right time. And I was just watching the game unfold yesterday, and it's just exciting to see that run in the third quarter where Dylan Brooks went off. Grayson hit some big shots. JV was putting them away early. And it was just a pretty much a bell-to-bell throttling by the Grizzlies yesterday, and you have to give Coach Jenkins credit, if only for preparation for the game.
And the Grizzlies, by the way, you can't be upset because they were up by 6 at halftime, but how worried were you that John Moran only took 1 shot in the first half?
I'm kind of torn on it, man. A lot of fans are like, well, John's just trusting his teammates, and he's sacrificing his own game to get other guys going, and that's not what I see on the court. My biggest issue with Ja isn't the amount of shots that he takes or how many points he scores. There's just some games where Ja just doesn't. There's some games and stretches of games and stretches within games where Ja just looks disinterested. He doesn't look like he's engaged into the game. And I've seen games where he's high energy and he's, kind of setting the tone, not particularly for scoring a lot of points, but you just don't see the energy. Like, when's the last time you saw Ja, throwing the goggles up or telling somebody they're too little? Like, he doesn't really seem like he's engaged in a lot of games. And I think it's because teams have kind of shut down what he likes to do as far as being able to get to the basket, and he's trying to find other ways to contribute. And I think that his lack of production is due to not being able to do much more. I don't think he's consciously and willingly deferring to other people like a lot of the fans are believing is the case.
You think TJ and everybody, when the offseason hits, they're going to be talking about make sure you work on that three-point shot?
Yeah, John needs to put in a lot of work. I'm not really sure what he did this offseason, but I think he did a lot more celebrating than he did actually putting work in. I mean, I hate to be negative towards Ja, but that jump shot has to get better. He's got to add more tools to his game. Period.
No, he definitely does.
A lot of the great players all the time. They don't use the offseason just to work on their total game in general. They find one specific thing to work on to add that wrinkle, master that wrinkle, and add it to their game. And I think Ja really needs to put that time in to work on that outside shot this offseason more than anything.
I agree with you 100%. Don't forget Anthony Sane. You can listen to him every single morning from 7 to 10 a.m. right here on Sports 56 Morning with Peter and Sane. Mr. Sane, I got to ask you a question. And by the way, you follow him on Twitter at Sane Asylum. Dude, are we going to see Jaren Jackson Jr. again?
Yeah, I think you're going to see Jaren really soon. I won't get into details of when I believe you might see him, but I think you'll see him closer to the middle of the month than to the end of the month, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. In the fact that they're winning right now, they don't have Jaren Jackson Jr. They're winning. DeAnthony Melton wasn't able to play. He had a sore leg. Brandon Clark was out. The fact that they're able to win these games, what does that say about the young guys on the Grizzlies team? Or does it say, like, maybe they need to get rid of a few pieces to grab a couple extra stars?
Say that one more time. There was a siren in the background.
Oh, sorry about that. I was saying, like, when you look at the fact that they're right now winning games without Jaren Jackson Jr., you didn't have Brandon Clark last night. Justice Winslow was out. You had who else was missing last night? Anthony Melton. Yeah. Melton. You have all these guys missing. These are serious contributors to this Grizzlies team. Do they need to actually, like, the front office need to, like, look and try to go maybe deal some of these people and get a superstar? Dylan Brooks is a guy that I want to deal. But I wanted to ask you a question, like, can Memphis go and attract somebody that actually can play, if you know what I mean?
If you're talking about free agency, I think it'll take one more year. I think they have the year where they're actually are a playoff team. I think what the Grizzlies need to do, since they didn't do anything at the trade deadline, is, go to the podium, take your draft pick this year, see what you have on your roster, and then start looking at how you can consolidate and turn some guys into better guys. With combinations of draft picks combined to those players. That's something I think you can start next year. And then from that team, you can get guys that can possibly sign as a free agent when you're a young, up-and-coming team that's maybe a fifth, sixth, seventh seed in the West. Then you can possibly attract a free agent that way. But they're doing everything well, man. They're knocking a lot of things out the park, and I really commend the front office for the way that they're building the team. And they're putting a good product together, man. They're building. They got a team that's ahead of schedule, and they're looking good. They're looking good for the future.
Yeah, they are looking good for the future. And by the way, do you trust? I mean, like Taylor Jenkins, it sounds like you believe in him. He's doing a good job coaching. Do you believe Zach Kline? Because you're talking about the draft, and if you look at the Golden State Warriors, let's be honest with you. Yes, they got Kevin Durant, but they still won championships by drafting Steph Curry, by Klay Thompson. Like they did it through the draft. Is Zach Kline somebody that you can believe in, who can actually do it through the draft? I mean, he's got Brandon Clark late. He's done a really good job. Desmond Bane. I mean, he's grabbing people that are actually contributing. Do you think that they could ever one day wake up and be a Golden State Warrior?
Yeah, that's. I think that's the plan. And not only have they've got the easy ones right. They got John Morant. Jaren Jackson was the front office before them. So Jaren doesn't really count, but they got John Morant. That's the easy one. Number 2 pick in the draft. You couldn't get Zion, so John's right there. You get number 2. But they also nailed Brandon Clark, like you said. Tillman, Bane. Those are just smart picks. But you got guys who have been able to get on the court and contribute. There are so many teams that have first and second round picks that they're not even good enough to be on the court. You look at Aaron Nesbitt, the guy that Boston took with the pick that was supposed to be ours. You drafted that guy. You also took Desmond Bane and traded him to us. and you let us get a pick from you that was supposed to be yours, and with the pick that was our pick that you used on Nesbitt, he's barely able to even get on the court. So the Grizzlies have found a way to draft guys who can play and contribute to the team. So you definitely have to give them credit for that.
Man, I'm definitely giving him a lot of credit, man. I got a question for you. How scared of you are Trae Young tonight?
Trae has the ability to go off, man, and he's mastered being able to get to the free throw line, and he really frustrated us a lot with that the last time we played him. He pulled out all the Trae Young foul drawing tactics out of the bag, and I know it frustrated a lot of guys. So I'm worried about things he can do. They had a really hot shooting night last night. I think they were 11 from 11 in the third quarter and for shooting threes. So I hope they cool off a little bit. I hope they, shot themselves out last night, and I hope that they slow down tonight.
I know what you mean, man, but it's kind of weird because you got the Hawks who are actually playing good basketball right now. They're 27-24 on the year, 13-9 at home. Grizzlies, they're 2 games above 500 at 25-23. On the road, they're 13-9 away. The Hawks are a 2.5-point favorite. To me, and I love to ask these kind of questions because I like to gamble. I feel like I should take the Grizzlies plus 2.5 and dance. Ooh, you sound a little scared.
I just started betting this year. Just to be honest with you, I wasn't going through any type of unofficial, unsanctioned methods to bet. So I just started betting this year. I don't bet NBA lines at all because they're so strange. Like, so many things can happen. A guy can get fouled and shoot a free throw at the end of the game, and it blows the money.
Yeah, so, trust me, I know that.
I don't touch that at all. But I've got the Grizzlies winning. But but I guess in that case, I would take it. Based on what you're saying.
Man, I'm going to have to take Memphis, man. They're 7-3 in their last 10. They're playing really good basketball, and I know that the Atlanta Hawks have won 4 games in a row, but I just don't believe in Trae Young. I'm sorry. I don't believe in Clint Capella. Like, dude, I think JV should have a night all. I mean, he should get 20 points, 10 boards in his sleep against Capella. I feel like the Grizzlies beat the brakes off of him, so I think you know where my money's going.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And speaking of JV, man, like if you're doing parlays, JV's going to give you 10 and 10, 15 and 10 every night. You can throw that in any parlay you're doing pretty much.
Man, you heard it from right there. Anthony saying make sure you check him out on Sports 56 Mornings with Peter every single morning. Peter and Anthony, 7 to 10. And don't forget to follow him on Twitter at Sane Asylum. Anthony, I appreciate your time so much. I hope you have a blessed day, and I'll see you soon.
All right, man.
That's my friend Anthony. And never forget one thing. You know what you want to do? 901-406-1101. You got to sell your house, right? 901-406-1101. Any house, any area, as simple as that. All you do is call my buddy Bill at I Buy Houses. Bing, bang, boom, I just sold your house. Guaranteed to close in 5 days. If you've had your house on the market for over 3 months, why? 901-406-1101. Grab that pen. 901-406-1101. You ask my buddy Bill at I Buy Houses. Bing, bang, boom. You can thank me later on 70236 on our text line because I just sold your house. Call my buddy Bill at I Buy Houses. Don't forget, coming up on the other side, some fun stuff. I got some bad news in baseball. Did you see about this dude who got hit in the head with a 94-mile-an-hour fastball? We'll talk about that. Whatever you do, though, don't you dare touch it. Sports 56, 98.5, 96.1 FM.
Spend your lunch with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy on Sports 56 Middays.
Lunchy munchy.
Weekdays from 10 till 1 on Sports 56, 98.5, and 96.1.
Hi, this is Troy Five-Ash, owner of Five-Ash Roof Services. You've heard me talk about how we offer the best products, the best warranties, and the best services for years. Now let's talk about pricing. Pricing should never be the only reason you hire a contractor, but in today's world, pricing is always a consideration. So we suggest you get 2 or 3 estimates for your roof replacement from a reputable, licensed, and insured company, and then give us a call. If we can't beat your best price for a comparable roof system by more than $100, we'll give you $100. It's that simple. We are so sure we can offer you the best price, beating all other qualified companies. We will hand you $100 if we can't, and thank you for the opportunity. So give us a call. What's the worst thing that's going to happen? Make $100? Five-Ash Roof Services, a proud supporter of Tiger Athletics and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. Five-Ash Roof Services, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Five-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus of Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Looking for some action? Sports gambling is legal in Tennessee. Action247.com. Local, legal. A sportsbook by Tennesseans, for Tennesseans. Go to Action247.com. Register and place your bets. Are you a sharp or a first-time bettor? Action247 has you covered. Visit us online at Action247.com. Local, legal. Action247. You got action.
Problem gambling? Call 1-800-889-9789.
I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. I Buy Houses. I Buy Houses will buy a house in any area, in any condition, and yes, it's guaranteed to close in 5 days. If you need to sell your home quickly, call 901-406-1101. If you've been through a divorce, if you lost your job, if you're tired of renters, I Buy Houses can get you your money quickly. I Buy Houses will buy your home in Shelby County, DeSoto County, Memphis, Bartlett, South Haven, Horn Lake, Olive Branch, anywhere and everywhere in between in any condition. And yes, they're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Grab that pen, 901-406-1101. I Buy Houses.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Happy Hour with Johnny Radio. This hour of Sports 56 Happy Hour is brought to you by MemphisFarmers.com. Insurance coverage backed by a local agent and a brand trusted nationwide. We are farmers. MemphisFarmers.com. Here once again is Johnny Radio.
Welcome back to a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your good buddy Johnny Radio. You know, it's Wednesday. It's beautiful outside. Life is good. Man, we got baseball all over the place. Braves are beating the brakes off of, well, not the brakes. They're up 7-5 over the Nationals. They're finally scoring. They struck out. Did you know in the first series they struck out 43 times in 3 games? Think about that, Gabe Cohn. That is absolutely ridiculous. I could have done that. Come on, man. That is ridiculous, but they're scoring some runs. Braves are up 7-5. You got the Pirates who are playing the Reds, and I'm about to talk about that because, boy, there was a very, very, very scary play in the Reds games, Pirates games. We'll talk about that. The Reds are up 9-0 over the Pirates because I'll tell you a secret. The Pirates are worse than Baltimore, Drew. Yes, talking to you, Drew Barrett. They are bad. Indians are up 2-1 over the Royals. And, of course, my team, the Twins, that I've been gambling on like it's going out of style, they're up 3-2 on the Tigers in the bottom of the 6th. But I got to get to this. This was one of the scarier moments I've seen in a while. Jonathan India. Do you know who he is by any chance? Are you a big baseball fan, Gabe, or do you have no clue I'm talking about?
I'm not familiar with Jonathan.
Do you know Chad Kuhl? Because his name is... Never mind. Kuhn? No, that's not very close, I guess. But anyway, Chad Kuhl hit him in the head with a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. Like straight up in his dome. You didn't see this, did you?
I did not.
Let me tell you a little secret. It's not something you want to see, to be honest with you. It's hard. I have to say one thing. I'm glad India, by the way, if you don't know, India is okay. Jonathan is fine. But do you know who I think is more messed up? I think Kuhl was more messed up. Like, he could not stay in the ball game. Did you know that? Chad Kuhl hits him in the head with, accidentally. He doesn't do it on purpose. He throws a fastball, it slips, it goes a little bit high. Next thing you know, it rides in, it hits him right in the deadgum head. It looks bad, but bro, did you see him just you haven't seen this, so I'm going to tell you. He hit he was on the pitcher's mound. The dude was about in tears. Now, I can't throw that hard. If you hit somebody with the baseball that hard, would you feel as bad as he did? Because I think I would too.
100%. No question. It's scary. It's a scary situation with that dang baseball, man.
Well, the reason I'm going to ask you this is because we're talking about a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. Did you know on Tuesday, 14 pitchers threw the ball over 100 miles an hour? 14. Do you remember when the 100 miles an hour was you can't throw faster than 100 miles an hour, and then all of a sudden there was Aroldis Chapman? Nolan Ryan did not throw 100 miles an hour, people. It's crazy. So my question is are they ever going to move 60 feet, 6 inches? I love baseball. I like the fact that it's 90 feet. I know they got a bigger baseball, a bigger bag now because they don't want to have as many collisions. Yes, they're looking at certain things, but I'm going to ask you this. If people continue to get better and stronger and bigger and faster, what if they start throwing 110 miles an hour? Are they going to have to move the plate back? Are they going to have to move the pitching mound to 68 feet? I don't know. I mean, it's just freaking me out. And I will tell you one thing. I've never thought that I would see this many people, but 14 major league players threw the ball over 100 miles an hour. I will tell you, though, Jonathan India, he got hit in the head by a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. He's lucky. He stayed in the game, by the way, Gabe Kuhn, but the pitcher left. How interesting is that? The pitcher was more shook up than the guy who got hit.
They didn't pull him for any type of protocol.
Baseball. You know how slow baseball moves, right?
That's interesting, though.
They checked him out. He stayed in the game.
They just give him hey, follow my finger. And that's it.
just look to the left, look to the right.
How many fingers am I holding up?
How many fingers am I holding up? Yeah, you know what? Maybe they did it that way, but he stayed in the game. Cool was messed up, and I will tell you something, though. If I was a pitcher and I could throw the ball that hard, I would struggle, and I keep thinking of Mr. Dustin May. He throws the ball 103 miles an hour. If he ever loses control of the baseball, what damage is that going to do? We'll talk baseball. We got the Red Sox who are up 5-1 on the Rays right now. The Blue Jays and Rangers are playing. Believe it or not, the Rangers are up 2-0. If I was you, I would go ahead and bet a lot of money on the Blue Jays, even though they're down, because the Rangers have the worst bullpen in the history of baseball. The history of baseball. I can promise you that. Don't forget, you got the Braves and the Nationals. Dodgers Athletics, they're coming up at 2:37. The Mets and the Phillies play today. Aaron Nolan's going to get to finally pitch. It's going to be a lot of fun. We got tons of baseball, but you know what we're going to do next? We're going to talk with Russell Copeland. We got lots of football news. We got all kinds of things to get into, but I also want to remind you something. Are you hungry? I'm hungry. Central Barbecue. Go to eatcbq.com. You can ship that barbecue into the world. Anywhere in the world. You can get catering. You can do all kinds of wonderful things. Just go to eatcbq.com or just stop in to their 4 great locations. The Poplar one is beautiful. It's brand new. I love it. Don't forget Central. It's the original. Summer, we got you covered. And right behind the Civil Rights Museum, Central Barbecue. Smoke is their sauce. They have the best ribs, wings, pulled chicken, pulled shoulder. Man, their turnip greens are out of control. Eat the best. Memphis has the best barbecue in the world, and the best barbecue in Memphis is at Central Barbecue. We'll be back in 2 shakes. We're going to talk with Russell Copeland. This is Sports 56, 98.5, 96.1 FM.
And if the cloud bursts, thunder in your ear, you shout and no one seems to hear.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
As physicians, we know that what we do now will affect the future for us all.
The COVID-19 vaccine is now available. It's safe and very effective, and it's a great defense against coronavirus.
But we still need to continue to mask up, socially distance, and get tested.
Getting vaccinated will help us all get back to some semblance of normalcy.
Let's get vaccinated and tell your friends and family to do the same.
Memphis and Shelby County, get vaccinated. It's our best shot.
It's happening again at Family Leisure. Don't miss out again this summer because pools are going fast. Spas in stock now too, and they're ready for delivery. New 2021 patio furniture, state-of-the-art in stock now, and up to 20% off select sets. Swing into spring with a brand new play gym, professional installation available. The temperature's rising, and so is the service at Family Leisure. Family Leisure, I-40 and Whidden Road, where family and fun come together.
Listen Sundays at 11 a.m. to join Idlewild Presbyterian Church for worship. Idlewild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. I Buy Houses. I Buy Houses will buy a house in any area, in any condition, and yes, it's guaranteed to close in 5 days. If you need to sell your home quickly, call 901-406-1101. If you've been through a divorce, if you lost your job, if you're tired of renters, I Buy Houses can get you your money quickly. I Buy Houses will buy your home in Shelby County, DeSoto County, Memphis, Bartlett, South Haven, Horn Lake, Olive Branch, anywhere and everywhere in between in any condition. And yes, they're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Grab that pen, 901-406-1101. I Buy Houses.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, W253DF Memphis, and WIVG Tunica Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Welcome back to Sports 56 Happy Hour with Johnny Radio. This hour of Sports 56 Happy Hour is brought to you by Tito's Vodka. Here once again is Johnny Radio.
What is up? Welcome back to the Little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your good buddy, Johnny Radio. We're having a beautiful day. It's Wednesday. Beautiful hump day right now. And I'll tell you something, it's Masters Week. We got gambling all over the place. We got baseball all day long, all day strong. If you've been paying attention, man, we got the Mets and the Phillies are getting ready to go. And I'll tell you a little secret. I don't usually do this, Mr. Gabe Coob. How much money are you going to throw down on Philly? How much? Because I'm throwing a little bit down.
How much you think it's worth?
Dude, Aaron Nola? Man, come on, son. He's going to beat the brakes off the Mets. Francisco Lindor just got paid. You know what he's been doing since he got paid? Partying. Mets are going down. Phillies are winning. I like it. Right now, we also have a lot of baseball going on. The Brewers, the Cubs, they just started in the bottom of the second, 0-0. Rangers up 2-0 on the Blue Jays. The Red Sox. Yes, the Red Sox, who stink, are up 9-1 on the Rays. The Twins and the Tigers, 3-2 in the bottom of the sixth. Twins are up 3-2. Barely winning. We'll see what happens. And don't forget the Royals and the Indians are going on right now. My man, Rafael hit one out. Let's go. Indians 2-1 over the Royals. And then the Reds. They're up 11-0 on the Pirates. The Pirates are just a bad baseball team. But it's time to talk with my good buddy Russell Copeland. And we're going to talk a little NFL. We're going to talk a little bit about the University of Memphis. He knows a lot about Memphis. He knows a lot about the NFL. He's my good buddy Russell Copeland. How's life treating you, my friend?
Great, Johnny. What's going on, man?
Man, you know what? I'm going to tell you something. I'm enjoying this beautiful Wednesday. But I got a question for you because you played at Memphis. You played in the National Football League. You're a very mature adult. You know what's going on in the world. Have you ever seen so much vitriol over Taj Washington leaving University of Memphis and going to USC? I've always understood that young people can, like, the grass is greener on the other side of the fence. But I hate to say this. I love you. I love me. I love the Memphis Tigers. But, man, the USC is a little bit of a step up, isn't it?
Well, you know, from a program standpoint, I mean, you can look at it like that. I think for me personally, I love that the fans are so committed to the Tigers. But I can never join and applaud when fans criticize young men, 18, 19, 20 years old. I think you have to look at the trends, the portal, the way it is, the way players are transferring. It's a different game. It's a different beast than when I played. It's different in the NBA when you get a lot of players together. They're joining super teams. I think a player has to look at what's best for him. And I'm also going to say that, you know, players are different these days. When you look at it now, some players, they can't take a lot of criticism. Sometimes they can't take a coach getting on to them, and they look at it, and there's a lot of opportunities to transfer. And then there are some situations where a player says he wants to go to another school to get a better opportunity. And let's look at Brady White. Brady White, you know, we were on the gift end of him transferring. So he transferred, and he is the most prolific quarterback in the school's history. So I think you have to look at both sides of the coin. We also have gotten a great receiver that transferred from Arkansas. I think he was a 4-star, 5-star. He'll be on the team this year. We got Arizona's quarterback. He's transferring. He's here. So you have to be able to give, and you have to be able to receive. And I just think that's what we're looking at in today's time. Unfortunately, I love Taj. I was able to call some games last year. He's an outstanding receiver. He does very well catching the football. He makes a lot of yards after the catch. And I wish the best for him. The time that he played here, he gave 100%, and now it's time for us to move on.
And you know what? When you say move on, and it is time for, I think, Memphis fans, they need to get off the message boards. They need to quit attacking a young kid who's just trying to make the best out of his. He's just trying to make his life as best as he can make his life. You know what I'm saying? But Clay Helton being out there at USC, for some reason, it almost doesn't hurt as bad because I know he's going to play with Clay. Is that just the fact that I know Clay, or is that you know what I'm trying to ask?
You know, definitely because Clay coached here. So you definitely always root for coaches that go on to other places. You know, for me, once a Tiger, always a Tiger. And I just think that, you know, some fans, they have the right to be able to express their opinion. They look at it to the point, how dare you be able to go to another school? But I just alluded to it. I mean, Brady White came from another school, you know, so he came here and he helped win a lot of ball games. So we didn't shun the situation when we were getting another player from another school. So we have to be able to deal with it and go on and look at the players that we have on our team. And let's just look at last year. Last year started off, you know, tough with COVID-19. When you look at how many days were missed between the first game and the second game, Ryan Silverfield was able to get those players together. You had some players that left the football team. He was still able to grasp this football team, put his signature on it, go to a bowl game, and he had a pretty good season. So the players that are remaining with the team, this coaching staff will do what they need to do to be able to get this football team ready to play. And our fans have to be able to deal with it. You can't bring him back. There's no need to bash the young man. Let's take the players that we have, and let's go on and win some games in the fall.
He is Russell Copeland, by the way. You know, he played at the University of Memphis. He played for the Bills. He played for the Eagles. He played for the Packers. He's the man. He's the myth. He's the living legend. He's called many games. He knows sports like it's going out of style. Now, you mentioned Brady White. When Brady White came over here, a lot of people did not appreciate him because we just came off of a rubber arm Riley Ferguson. We had Paxton Lynch the year before, a dude who could just throw the ball down the field like it was crazy. So you don't appreciate what you have almost until it's gone. Now, this is my weird question because I'm going to ask you, why is Justin Fields somebody who was so appreciated in high school and loved, and he went to Georgia, and then he goes to Ohio State, and this guy's supposed to be one of the greatest people you've ever seen. He ran a 4.4 40. He can throw the ball 90 feet down. 90 yards down the field. Not really 90 yards, but you know what I'm saying. He's got a cannon. But how come everybody says that he's dropping? What's going on with that?
And also, by the way, he was a transfer as well.
So it's another good point.
Just to get that out of the way, and he'll probably be a top 10, top 15 draft pick, and he transferred to another school. You know, I'm not going to necessarily say that he's dropping when you look at it. You know, he has those intangibles, but when you go in front of the National Football League scouts, the general managers, they want to be able to find something that is wrong with your game, whether it's your personality, whether it's something that they can say, well, can you be the face of this franchise? Can you deal with adversity? And for me, I think when the season started, I think he moved his way up into a first-round pick. I think he had some bad games early on, and I think it kind of slid him out. I think toward the end of the year, I think it put him right back in a top 5, top 10 position. So when you look at it, I think he'll do well. I'm not going to say he was going to be the number 1 overall pick. We know he wasn't going to be that. And I'm not just going to be sure to say he was going to be the number 2 or the number 3 pick. I think he's right where he needs to be. He had an outstanding workout, and who knows what's going to happen within the next couple of weeks. I do hear that he's dropping a little bit, but I still think that he'll be a top 10 pick.
Now, I think you're 100% right. And again, we're talking with Russell Copeland. He's played in the National Football League in the University of Memphis. He knows about sports. But when you watch Zach Wilson continually to climb, when you see Trevor Lawrence, he's going to go to the Jags. Urban Meyer, which I don't get. This is a guy who, yes, he did good in college, but Ohio State right now, a lot of the reason that people are busting up on Justin Fields is Ohio State quarterbacks. They're talking about, 12 gauge. They're talking about Dwayne Haskins. They keep wanting to compare maybe Ryan Day or Urban Meyer's offense. So that's somewhat an unfair thing. Why is it that Urban Meyer doesn't get any complaints, any blame? He's almost like the Teflon Don, and he's going to take Trevor Lawrence. But can he actually rebuild like the Jags?
Well, I've got a little bit of mixed emotions with that. First of all, Urban Meyer is an outstanding coach. He did tremendous in college. He's one of the best college coaches that have played. But I also have to look at history. When I look at history, to me, there's only one coach that stands out that was a true college coach, hadn't coached in the National Football League, and that's Jimmy Johnson. That's really had a lot of success. And we can go down the list, and Nick Saban. We can go to Lou Holtz. We can go to the old ball coach at Florida, and none
Spurrier,
of these
yeah.
in the National Football League. And I just think when I look at toward the end of Urban Meyer's career, he was burned out. He had a couple of 2 or 3 losses, and he simply didn't have it. Now, this is a different beast. You're dealing with grown men, and it's going to be very strenuous. Will he be able to deal with rebuilding a program is going to be the biggest question. I hope he does well. Jacksonville is a market that definitely needs a winner, but I'm just not sure if he can do anything different than a lot of the other coaches besides Jimmy Johnson. I know Barry Switzer inherited a Jimmy Johnson's team, but I just really don't know if he'll be able to do it. I'm rooting for him, but history says that he will not succeed.
Man, you know what? I didn't even think about it like that. Yeah, Jimmy Johnson, man, when he took over Dallas, the great train robbery, getting rid of basically Herschel Walker and bringing in everybody and their grandmother, getting rid of everybody. And Barry Switzer, let's just be honest, I know he has a national championship in college and he's got a Super Bowl in the National Football League, but he did inherit Jimmy Johnson's team, and they basically won that third one. So I agree with you 100%. But, man, it's just, for me, when I look at the National Football League, I just don't understand why the Jags are going with Urban Meyer. I don't think it's going to work out. We'll see. They're getting the best quarterback in Trevor Lawrence. He's going to be the solid steel sex appeal person. But now, since we're talking about quarterbacks, what's going to happen with Russell Wilson in Seattle? Because right now, this seems like a divorce.
Johnny, when you look at it, we've been down this road a little bit with Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks being a little bit disgruntled. I think on the front end of it, I think it's going to be okay. And I'm saying for a year. But I think it depends on how the offense does. Will he be able to have some say-so as far as the offense being able to make some play calls? And how deep can he lead this team, stay injury-free, and see if he can get them to a championship and also to a Super Bowl? If not, I think it's not a good marriage right now. Russell Wilson is getting a little bit older. So if it does not work the way I talked about it just now, as far as them going deep in the playoffs and perhaps even going to a Super Bowl, I think the Seahawks would now try to get away from Russell Wilson. I think he will be here for this year, but I think when you look at the quarterback's pride, when you look at what Tom Brady was able to do coming from New England and then going to Tampa Bay and being able to bring his players in and basically putting his signature on the offense, on the team, on the organization, I think Russell Wilson wants to be able to have a little bit more say. And I think that's kind of what's going on. And we even heard a little bit from Aaron Rodgers the same way. Players want to win championships. And if they see a blueprint and they see another quarterback that plays their position and they feel like they're one of the top quarterbacks as well, they want a piece of the pie and they want to be able to lead their team. But I think he'll be good for a year, but a lot of it's going to depend on how this year shapes out.
Since your days, since back in the day when you used to play, how much has the league changed? Because, I do know that Joe Montana was not a 49er forever and went to Kansas City. I do understand that quarterbacks do leave. But why does it feel like there's no way that anybody can actually go with one team and actually finish their career with one team unless it's an unfortunate injury? Because if you play 15, 16, 18, 20 years like Tom Brady, you're bouncing, man. Tom Brady only knew the Patriot way. He just won the Super Bowl in Tampa Bay.
I just think it's just when you look at the way years are, you look at how careers are, and you look at the position. The position is a very tough position, and teams are trying to win now. And we talk about the loyalty. When you look at how much teams are paying players, they want a championship. And at the quarterback position, if you're drafted and you do not pretty much get that team to the playoffs in 4 years, they're looking to trade you or either looking to move on. If you are an older quarterback and you've been playing and then your play on the field goes down, you're going to either be cut or you're going to be traded. I think it's just demand for the position. And I think when you look at it now, players want to be able to score a lot of points. The offense, to me, is driven for the offense to score points. So the person that you have behind the center is a valuable key piece in order for you to win a championship. Let's just look at the draft. When you look at the draft, there could be 4 quarterbacks that go in the top 10. It may be 5 or maybe even 6 that could slip into the first round, which would be unheard of because teams want to be able to get the base to win a championship. And I think it starts at the quarterback position. And if they can't do it within 3 or 4 years, you're going to hear the rumors and you're going to hear the trades.
And I agree with you 100%. Yes, you want the best quarterback that you could possibly get because the guy's going to be delivering the football. He's going to be in charge of your huddle. He's the guy who's the face of the franchise. But right now in the 2021 draft, is Kyle Pitts not the sexiest person you've ever seen? He's 6'6", 250 and ran a 4.4 40. That's Megatron numbers. And he plays tight end. He can block. He can do everything. And you played wide receiver. You know this. How good could this kid be?
Well, I don't think we've ever seen a specimen at the tight end position coming out of college. He has an opportunity to go top 10, and I don't think there's been a tight end to go top 10. He has all the intangibles when you look at his body, when you look at his physique, when you look at his 40, you look at his vertical, and you look at what he's been able to do in college. But when you take a tight end that high, that's going to be a good weapon for you. But I look at Ingram. To me, when I look at the Giants and I look at Ingram, some people say he may go to the Giants, early on the top 5, top 6 picks. But I thought Ingram coming out of Ole Miss, he had those intangibles. He had the speed. He had the vertical. He had the hands. Now you may even get another player such as he. I don't know how impactful a tight end can be as far as when you're talking about winning Super Bowls compared to the quarterback position. But I tell you what, on paper, he's a stud, and he'll definitely help a quarterback because he can be the go-to guy. He can stretch the defense, and pretty much wherever you line him up, he can be a mismatch. If he can stay healthy, it'll be a good piece. But it's still not going to be the piece to get you to the Super Bowl. It's going to be a piece to help you, but you got to have a quarterback. And let's look at Kansas City, and let's look at the San Francisco 49ers. They've got the top two tight ends in the league, but it's the quarterback position that made them win a Super Bowl, and it's the quarterback position that made San Francisco lose the Super Bowl.
And the quarterbacks, since you're talking about it, they make the teams. You play with, Kelly. You know a lot about quarterbacks. You played with some good ones. Do you think Trey Lance, the fact that he comes, from basically North Dakota State, he only threw 283 passes in his entire career. They had one game last year, but he's 6'4". He's 230 pounds. He's got a big arm. He never threw an interception in college. He looks the part. How scared, though, would you be to be able to draft him in the first round?
Well, for me, I'd say the quarterback is the most important position. It's the position that's hard to be to make it from college to the pros and be able to sustain it. You look at all the quarterbacks with Goff and you look at Wentz, the big contracts, and they haven't lived up to it. When you take a quarterback high, you're taking a chance because he can put your franchise back 4 years. He looks the part. Now, will he be able to do it? That's $1 million question. But, he throws the football very well. He's big. But how fast will he be able to learn the game, the speed of the game? How fast would he be able to learn an NFL offense? But when I look at him on paper, he just kind of reminds you of a player that could be a Patrick Mahomes, meaning that you look at him and say, okay, I see this right here, but if you put him in the right situation, he could be another great one because he has a lot of the intangibles and he has a big room to grow.
He does have a lot of room to grow, and he's a big boy, and I think he's going to be a pretty good football player. But, we watch Mitch Trubisky, get taken number 2 by the Bears, and then Patrick Mahomes and Deshaun Watson went after him. We've seen a lot of stuff going on when it comes to quarterbacks. One move, though, that has interested me is Sam Darnold was in purgatory when he was playing with the New York Jets. Now going to Carolina, hooking him up with Matt Rule. Is there a chance that Sam Darnold actually revitalizes his career and gets a second chance?
I hope he does. I really do. I'm just not a fan of Sam Darnold. To me, Sam Darnold is who Sam Darnold is, and I talked about it a few years ago when he was coming out. I thought he was a turnover machine. I simply, my eyes were budging when he went as high as he went. I just did not see him having that grade. I saw Mel Kiper talk about it. I saw the upgrade that the potential that Kiper was talking about. To me, he throws a lot of interceptions. He's going to Carolina. For me, I don't see a whole lot for him to get at Carolina. When I saw Teddy Bridgewater, I thought he was a solid quarterback, and he did not have a whole lot of success. Hopefully, he can be able to build it, but I think he's a first-round quarterback with a first-round name, and I really do not see him getting that much better from the Jets to the Carolina Panthers. Anything is better from the New York Jets at this point, but from a player standpoint, I don't see him taking them to the promised land.
Will Robert Saleh ever be able to bring the Jets back, or is the Jets organization basically because of their ownership in Woody, are they just always going to be the Jets?
If anyone can do it, Johnny, it's him. He has the type of personality to be able to come in and change the culture that we have seen from the New York Jets. If they can end up getting a quarterback position that can land a quarterback and then start building around, they have an opportunity. And when you look at their division is the division that's going to be very competitive. When you look at the Dolphins, they're competitive. The Bills seem like they have a team now that's going to compete for the next 5 or 6 years. The Patriots are still rebuilding. So it's a time now for the New York Jets to be able to get into that fold and be very competitive. But to me, it's going to start with changing a whole lot of the culture. And hopefully he can be able to change some of the ownership. And I know that's the guy with the money, but if you bring the right coach in and you see some of the moves that he's making, and he can be able to convince the ownership that these are the players that I need, the Jets have a chance. But it's been such a long time since the Jets were competitive. He had his hands filled trying to get the Jets back in contention to be a formidable team.
Do they get Zach Wilson?
I think so.
Do you think that he has a chance to be the big man in New York? Could he basically replace Eli Manning's name in New York over the next decade?
The thing that scares me, Johnny, is that I've looked at his temperament. I've studied his background. When you're playing in New York, man, you got to have some tough skin. You got to be thick-skinned. I think that's the one thing that he's going to have to be able to adjust with, being failing early on in his career. If he can deal with that, I think he has an opportunity. But if not, he'll learn very fast that this is not college. There's some things that he's going to have to learn on the fly. There's going to be a lot of times that he's going to get sacked. There's going to be some times he throws a lot of interceptions. If he can stay mentally strong, he has an opportunity. But it's going to be a big challenge for any quarterback that goes to the Jets in the next couple of years.
And you know what? It's going to be hard to be Broadway Joe. Hopefully he can replace him and maybe make some new history for the Jets fans and people who like the green. I think they're green because I'm colorblind, but the Jets, and we'll see what happens with Zach Wilson. But let me tell you something, Russell, I appreciate your time so much. Thank you for coming on and talk with me. I hope you have a very blessed day and a wonderful week, and enjoy the weather, my friend.
Thank you, Johnny.
That's my buddy, Russell Copeland. He joins me every single Wednesday at 2 o'clock. We love to rap, and I'll tell you somebody else that I like to rap with. And that's my good buddy over at Brian Elder Roofing. You know what? You need a little love on your roof? All you need is to call my buddy, Brian Elder, at Brian Elder Roofing Solutions, 901-867-0303. That's 901-867-0303. You give him a call. Heck, he can actually measure your roof from outer space. He can give you a quote right there on the phone. He also will come out there, and if you have some issues with your roof that's weather-related, we had a big snowstorm. We had a huge torrential rain like a couple weeks ago. It was rough. If he says that you have a claim, guess what? You're going to have it paid by your insurance. Call him up at 901-867-0303 or go get a fast quote at BrianElderRoofing.com. We'll be back in 2 shakes. I'm going to take you all to Hardwood, and we're going to talk about some crazy stuff. Plus, we have baseball scores. Fun. Don't touch that dial. Sports 56, 98.5, 96.1 FM.
Sports Time with Wallow and Stats. Weekdays from 3 to 6 on Sports 56, 98.5 FM and 96.1 FM.
Kelly Erb and I love selling homes. I'm Sheldon Rosengarten, and we are both with Mark's Bensdorf Realtors. We sell homes from the river to Germantown and everywhere in between.
And Sheldon, don't forget, we sell in all different price range, all the way up and over $1 million in River Oaks. But we also love selling homes and condos to first-time home buyers in Midtown, High Point, and the University of Memphis area.
And people aren't aware how much they need our experience and expertise when they're selling their homes. This involves preparation, presentation, and proper pricing combined with our highly successful strategic marketing program with the Shellbucks option. It's hard to beat that combination and our combination.
That's right. And if you or someone you know is thinking about selling, remember what people often say, that when you want the job done, call Sheldon and Kelly, of course.
You can reach us 24/7 at MemphisRelocate.com or 682-1868. That's 682-1868 or MemphisRelocate.com. Kelly Erb or Sheldon Rosengarten.
Do it now.
We saved serious cash with our Progressive Home and Auto Bundle and used the money to buy a new boat.
Who's ready to water ski?
This is not a real testimonial. Sure, customers can save big money with Progressive, but not enough for a new boat. They'll probably spend it on rent or gas money or maybe one of those little plastic wading pools for the yard.
Ahoy there!
Is what the captain might say on the toy boat in your wading pool. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Hi, this is John Conway with Conway Services. Are you ready for some warmer weather? I know I am. What about your air conditioning system? Is it ready for the hot Memphis summer? Good news, it's Super Tune-Up time at Conway Services. We'll come out and perform our 16-point Energy Saver Super Tune-Up on your air conditioning system for only $69 with a free on-leak check. That's right, Conway Services exclusive 16-point Energy Saver Super Tune-Up for only $69 with a free on-leak check. We'll remove years of dirt, grime, and leaves from your air conditioning system. It's like taking your air conditioner to a car wash, all for only $69. If you have an air conditioner that leaks Freon every year, with Conway Services Super Tune-Up, we'll include a leak check at no charge. If that's not enough, we'll treat your unit with a special Teflon coating to help protect against the hot Memphis sun. So call Conway Services, the Mid-South's premier heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric service company at 384-3511. And call this week and ask for the early bird special, and we'll perform your Super Tune-Up for only $57.
Call 384-3511. Conway Services. Call Conway today.
If you're going on vacation, making a college campus visit, or if business takes you out of town, there's just no better place to board your dog than Barks and Recreation, 965 Reddick Cove between Bud Davis Cadillac and the Blue Plate Cafe in East Memphis. Boarding, daycare, grooming, we have the best of everything at Barks. Indoor-outdoor kennels so your family member can go in and out as they please. Indoor and outdoor play areas. 4 walks a day, group play, and individual attention from the best staff in the Mid-South, which includes an overnight staff to ensure the safety and comfort of your pet 24 hours a day. All reasons to choose Barks and Recreation above all other boarding and daycare facilities. BarksDaycare.com or 509-0909. Check us out and make your reservations now at BarksDaycare.com. If your dog could speak, he'd say Barks.
I know the sweetest thing in Memphis, and I know it's been around for 115 years. You know, I'm talking about Dinstall's, and it's time to stock up heavy on Cashew Crunch, Heavenly Crunch, Turtlettes, all of your favorite Dinstall's treats. So easy to get. The sweetest thing in Memphis, all you have to do is head to Laurelwood or head to Germantown and Poplar right across from the hospital, or go where they make the candies. That's on Pleasant View. There's nothing that says Memphis better than Cashew Crunch with that little tinge of coconut, or the Turtlettes. Let's face it, there's nothing better than Dinstall's chocolate. That's the mainstay of all candies, isn't it? Milk chocolate, although their dark chocolate is pretty darn good. And if you get the peppermint with the dark chocolate and put it in the freezer, you're going to love it. So many ways to love Dinstall's. Stock up heavy on all of your favorite Dinstall's treats. 115 years of making Memphis oh so sweet.
I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. I Buy Houses. I Buy Houses will buy a house in any area, in any condition, and yes, it's guaranteed to close in 5 days. If you need to sell your home quickly, call 901-406-1101. If you've been through a divorce, if you lost your job, if you're tired of renters, I Buy Houses can get you your money quickly. I Buy Houses will buy your home in Shelby County, DeSoto County, Memphis, Bartlett, South Haven, Horn Lake, Olive Branch, anywhere and everywhere in between in any condition. And yes, they're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Grab that pen, 901-406-1101. I Buy Houses.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Happy Hour with Johnny Radio. This hour of Sports 56 Happy Hour is brought to you by Tito's Vodka. Here once again is Johnny Radio.
Yo, 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 welcome back in a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your good buddy, Johnny Radio. Follow me at Johnny_Radio. Don't forget the show. We're streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and check us out at sports56whbq.com. And my buddy Gabe Kuhn, he's always rocking and rolling. He has the best info. Follow him at G_Kuhn71. He is the real deal Holyfield. Speaking of the real deal Holyfield, by the way, what is my favorite thing in the world, Gabe? Do you know? Do you know my favorite thing in the entire world? Don't guess, actually. I'll just tell you. It's Tito's, because I don't think you were going to say that, because it might be my second favorite thing in the world, but I'll tell you why it's my second favorite thing, because you can only drink so much. You know what I'm saying? That's why you have to savor it responsibly. Tito's is one of the top 10 vodkas in the entire world, and it's distilled right here in the United States, down in Austin, Texas. Tito Beverage, he came up with an idea. He started stealing gluten-free, corn-based vodka. He did it the old school way. He stilled it. Look it up. Stilling is a way that you produce alcohol. That's what gives Tito's its unbelievable flavor. It's slightly sweet. It has a black pepper note. It balances everything out. I don't care if you're making a kamikaze, a Cosmo, a martini, whatever you're doing, make sure you're doing it with Tito's vodka. When life hands you lemons, what do? You just make a lemon drop. Make sure it's with Tito's handmade vodka. Mr. Gabe Kuhn, let's go to Hardwood.
This is Access Hardwood.
Well, Gabe, do you like to drive fast?
When it's okay to do so.
I like to drive fast, I ain't gonna lie. I've got a lot of speeding tickets over the years. But
it's the fastest you've ever gone in a car.
Honestly, I've sent you a text message, bro. I don't think I can talk. Didn't I send you a picture?
No, you can say it out loud, man. It's okay. It's okay. You didn't get caught.
No, like 140.
Oh, wait, in your car?
Yeah, do you not remember when I texted
crazy.
you that? Yeah.
You're insane, man.
I'm
your
just
car.
kidding. I'm just
in your
kidding.
Car. In your
let's
car,
just
though.
not talk about this. No, I wasn't in my car. I was in a nice car.
I mean, we're not saying do it. I'm just asking.
Don't go fast.
Friendly
It's
conversation.
I've gone 120 in my car, but I got on the track and went 140 in a nice car.
Okay.
Back in the day.
Right.
That was
on the
fast.
track.
Yeah, we'll call it the track. I like that. But can I ask you something? Why did Tiger Woods, this whole investigation, you learned about the black box, correct?
Yes.
So do you know that your car has a black box?
Apparently it does.
Yeah, it's not really cool, is it? I don't like that.
Not great, but it helps investigations.
I'm not gonna lie
what
to
is
you.
going on the roads.
I don't
Helps
like
policemen.
cameras. I don't like cell phones. I don't like Big Brother looking at me. I want to be secret. Probably because I'm bad. But Tiger Woods, he has let everybody, he has released it. He said, hey, here you go. Put it out there. They said they blamed him going 75 miles an hour over a 45-mile-an-hour curve. And the only reason that he wrecked was because he was going too fast. Now, I'm going to ask you this. They said he accelerated when he went off the junt. Would you release this? Because that sounds almost suicidal. Like, I don't mean to just speculate. Tiger Woods, it's the Masters week. Everybody's talking about him. He's alive. Amen. They did an investigation. But what I'm saying is why would you release this if it's going to say, yeah, I hit the accelerator?
Well, to be real, there was the story about him. He had to tell them to release
yes,
the investigations end and what they found. So when that story came out, I wonder if he felt pressured to put it out there because people were asking questions.
I mean, reckless driving is better than a DUI. Reckless driving.
Because you remember the LA County Sheriff's Department said, yeah, we have the information on what happened that day. And everybody's, obviously that piques everyone's interest, but they said they cannot release it without Tiger Woods and his people
saying it's okay.
Yeah, they had to approve it.
All right, but can I tell you something? At 7 o'clock in the morning, if I ended up going 80 miles an hour and went off a cliff, I don't think I'd release anything, to be honest with you.
I understand, but with you, you're not Tiger Woods, and the pressure from outside is probably not that big for you to release that information to the public. Not trying to be look, hey, I may be wrong.
I'm not Tiger Woods.
Wrong.
Thank you. Yes, I know I'm poor. Thank you, Gabe. I appreciate that. Tiger Woods is super rich. Yes. I just always was kind of wondering, since the whole investigation started, and did you find it kind of weird that the cops came in there, took the black box, put in this much time and effort to basically a one-car crash? I'm kind of conflicted. Do you know what I mean by that? If it wasn't Tiger Woods.
Yeah, and they said he accelerated, so there may have been a mistake. He may have made a mistake in hitting the accelerator instead of the brake.
Here's part of the Jim Powers, Captain Jim Powers. Here's his quote. He says, Tiger tried to brake before the collision, we believe, but the investigation now shows that he inadvertently stepped on the gas instead of the brake.
See, that's what I'm saying.
Bro, I'm
that's
sorry,
an
that didn't
interesting
happen,
one.
bro.
Yeah,
Do you know how many times I've
generally.
been driving? I've never hit the brake and the gas.
But I also
and messed that
don't
one
lose
up.
control of my car very often.
I've lost control of my car a couple times, but
so I don't know how I'd react in that situation. You wouldn't think it would happen.
You wouldn't think it would happen?
No, I wouldn't think that you would accidentally click the accelerator instead of the brake. But then again, I haven't been in that situation, so I can't really. I don't know. But either way,
do you think Tiger's mental? Do you think his mental state should be in question?
I don't know. It was early in the morning. He's hurt, man. We have to get him rehabbed on all these things. I'm sure they're dealing with things behind the scenes and talking to him and trying to see what happened exactly. So I'm just glad to see this was not made into a way bigger deal in regards to speculating on his mental state than it was.
Well,
I'm glad it's sort of.
Just so you know,
the speculation
today, the speculation is now loud and clear.
Yes, but what I'm trying to say is it's sort of over. What else is going to be come out?
Well, I mean, the only thing now that
what
people are
else
talking
is going to come out about it?
Nothing.
This is all the LA County Sheriff's Department has said, so this is sort of the end all be all of the situation, right? There's no other information that is going to come out. That's what I'm trying to say.
Good point. Good luck, Tiger. Hope life is treating you well. Travis Rudolph, by the way, did you know that I once said on these airwaves, he's my favorite football player in the world? Did I tell you that during the break?
Yeah, you did.
It's
a viral video, so to be fair, like you had a reason for saying such thing.
And my mother, by the way, Kay Hart, beautiful woman, lovely, lovely person. She worked at Shrine School for 30 years. She works at Madonna. She helps a lot of underprivileged kids, kids that are sick, people that have autism, all kinds of things like that. So Travis Rudolph, back when this went viral, what was it, 2017 when he went viral with sitting down with my buddy. He sat down with Bo, and he was sitting alone in school. All of a sudden, you see this viral. Travis Rudolph, by the way, if you don't know who he is, he played football at Florida State. He had a small stint with the Jets and the Miami Dolphins. He wasn't that good in the NFL, but he was dead gum really good at Florida State. Let's be honest. Hey, Peter Warrick was really good at Florida State and wasn't good in the NFL either, but you know what? I guess we can just talk about Florida State receivers. But anyway, Travis Rudolph, I fell in love with. Travis Rudolph, I'm kind of freaked out about now. Do you know why? He has a double murder charge as of today. In fact, every time I look at this, it gets worse. One, he has been arrested for first-degree murder with a firearm and attempted second-degree murder. Since that was posted, it's now 2 first-degree murder charges, firearm, all kinds of stuff. I mean, this is not a good day if you're Travis Rudolph. How in the heck do you go from being the greatest wide receiver at Florida State during a couple years? You go from sitting with your buddy Bo, eating a pizza. You go on like every single show, Good Morning America, Ellen, whatever, and you talk about how, hey, I just went and sat with this kid, I ate a piece of pizza with him, and I talked with him, and I wanted him to feel normal. How do you go from being like the most beloved person in Florida to you're locked up in the clank, bro?
Just goes to show you never know people's demons. You just don't. And mind states change, people change, situations change. Sad story. Very, very sad story.
Dude had 18 touchdowns, 2,311 yards, 3-year career at Florida State, was a baller shot caller, played alongside Dalvin Cook. You know Dalvin Cook, still playing with Minnesota. Baller. I actually thought Rudolph was going to be as good as Cook, but I was wrong, obviously. Actually, I just like the video. Let's just be honest. In fact, and by the way, also didn't think running backs back then. I didn't appreciate running backs. I like 3 years and their career's over.
No one appreciates running backs anymore, though.
Yeah, they really don't. But man, the fact that Travis and this whole situation has happened, I hope Bo, the autistic student that he sat with back in 2017, I hope he's doing okay. I still hope people treat people with disabilities with love and respect. And I do want to say this. You don't know a human being. And I don't know if I can just sit there and say Travis Rudolph is the worst person in the world, because he's done good. But now he just murdered some people. And like, this is like that fine line where you have to look at things and you're like, wait, who really is he? Is he the guy that sat with Bo, an autistic kid? Or is he a murderer? Hard.
It's disgusting. It's sad. Moving on.
Life is not easy, is it?
Time for our daily Deshaun Watson update. We talked about yesterday. Lauren Buxley and Ashley Solis, 2 women who are represented by Tony Busby, the litigator going against Deshaun Watson and filing these civil suits, have stepped up. There's also been 2 complaints, criminal complaints, actually sent in to the Houston PD, so they've finally taken that step, Tony Busby and his clients. And then, as of this morning, for Deshaun Watson, bad news. Nike drops. Shortly after that, Beats by Dre drops. He's going to lose every sponsorship. Once Nike goes, everybody goes. Let's just put it how it is.
Let's be honest.
Beats
by Dre.
Yes, yeah, I just mentioned that.
Nike, everybody's leaving. My question is, though, did you watch Ashley Solis? Did you watch her?
Yeah, it was tough. It was tough to watch.
Does it
Very
change
emotional.
you a little bit? Okay.
What do you mean change?
I don't. Okay. Here's me and you have talked about this many a times. At first, it was a bunch of Jane Does. Yes, we struggle with the fact that he had 130 massages in the last year from a bunch of Instagram people. Yes, we were struggling. Where there's smoke, there's fire. But Deshaun Watson always seemed like the nicest guy in the world. There was no issues. When I watched Ashley Solis sit there and break down and cry and go on television and say who she was, it did change me a little bit. I'm not saying
it brought.
We're in this country. I will not say he's guilty, but you know what it did? It's the first time I was able to put a face with, like, Jane Doe is Jane Doe. I don't know Jane Doe. When I saw Ashley cry the other day, I got emotional.
No, there's no question. Did it change my mind on guilty, innocent? No. Like, I haven't tried. I've tried to stay out of that because I think anybody making any hardcore takes on which way this is going to go is wrong. You shouldn't be making. But I will say
Tony
this:
Busby,
it provides legitimacy to Tony Busby and his clients.
Yes, it does.
It helps to further their case. That's why I said yesterday. I mean, it's the first step in doing the right thing for his clients, I think, for Tony Busby. As to this, because up until this point, it's been Instagram litigation, Twitter litigation. So now we're finally to a point where you can put a face to one of these cases and see how it affected them. And,
yeah,
and it provides legitimacy. I will also, never mind.
Don't worry. Okay, leave it there. You know what? We're going to talk about something good. Do you know who the Good Samaritan is? The big diesel? You know, Aristotle?
I saw this. This was fantastic.
Oh, you saw this?
Yes, this was great.
Bro, okay, let me tell you a little secret. Everybody's been a little bit broke. Everybody's been hurting for money. There's a guy who was actually in is it Zales? By the way, I don't know. For some reason, I know what Zales is. But the fact that Shaq was going into Zales to buy diamond earrings kind of messes my head up. But he goes in to Zales, and there's a gentleman who's struggling. And I mean, he's sitting there like, hey, how can I set up a payment plan? You know, can we do this? Can we do that? And he has an engagement ring that he bought because he wants to get married. Well, I guess he lost his job, COVID-19. They didn't really go into it on TNT. Shaq did a really good job talking about it. But basically, he came out there. And did you see the video, by the way, the guy behind the counter caught? That's a great clip. You need to check it out. Because the dude that actually rang him up. So Shaq is sitting here. The big diesel. The big Aristotle. Shaq. He walks in. There's a guy who's basically crying. Like, I can't pay my bill. Please help me. Shaq hears it.
He was trying to buy a engagement ring on layaway.
On layaway. And Shaq hears this stuff going on. Do you know what Shaq does? He walks over there. He tells the dude behind the counter, here's my credit card. Pay it off. I got this, John. That's like the big Samaritan. Like, that's the nicest thing in a long time. Can you believe, like, could you imagine you're trying to, like, one, if you fall in love, you're blessed. If you want to get married, you're a lucky person. By the way, though, do you know what the number one reason for divorce is? Marriage. This is just to be real. But my man wants to get married, and then Shaq comes in there and pays for your ring. Now, my question is, Gabe Kuhn, if that woman ever sees this viral video, do you think she feels less love for her husband or more love for Shaq?
Don't make me speculate on her love for her husband. My gosh.
I don't know about you,
You're a sick individual.
I'm telling you right
sir.
now, dude.
You're a sick individual.
I'd be like, let me tell you something, Shorty. Shaq just bought my ring. I'd be so upset. I'd be like, let me tell you a little secret, man. This is wrong. You owe me more. Put my clothes on layaway. Make sure you put my money over here. We're doing all kinds of things.
You're a sick individual.
I am not a sick individual. I will tell you something, though. We have baseball going on all over the place. Games are going on. I'm about to give you some scores, but before I tell you about the scores on the other side, I got to remind you, do you want to be styling and profiling? Just go to 40 Frontier Western Store. FrontierWesternStore.com. 5880 Goodman Road. They're down in Olive Branch, by the way. You just head on down there. You can get your Carhartt jeans. They got a beautiful ladies boutique. They got they have everything that you want for your family. Men, women, children, everything. 5880 Goodman Road, Olive Branch. Family owned and operated since 1961. But guess what? Pandemics changed things a little bit. A lot of people don't like to get out. Maybe you haven't gotten vaccinated. Go to FrontierWesternStore.com. FrontierWesternStore.com. You can go there right now. You can shop men's, women's sale items. You can check out everything that they have. And guess what? They ship out within 24 hours. And any order over $75, absolutely free. Check them out, FrontierWesternStore.com. Or head on down to 5880 Goodman Road down in Olive Branch. We'll be back in 2 shakes. I got a baseball note, NFL, and then I got to say goodbye before I pass this bad boy off to Willow and Stats. This is Sports 56, 98.5, 96.1 FM.
Listen online anywhere, anytime at sports56whbq.com.
Upgrade your commute at Acura of Memphis. Seize the thrill and test drive one of our award-winning models, each packed with cutting-edge technology, luxurious amenities, and a driving experience that's sure to awaken your inner self. Driving shouldn't be a chore, it should be an adventure. Advance your drive today, shop our aggressive lease and finance options now, luxury is waiting at Acura of Memphis, or shop online 24/7, visit AcuraofMemphis.com.
As physicians, we know that what we do now will affect the future for us all.
The COVID-19 vaccine is now available. It's safe and very effective, and it's a great defense against coronavirus.
But we still need to continue to mask up, socially distance, and get tested.
Getting vaccinated will help us all get back to some semblance of normalcy.
Let's get vaccinated and tell your friends and family to do the same.
Memphis and Shelby County. Get vaccinated. It's our best shot.
We need the forklift over here.
Indeed knows unexpected growth can stretch your business thin.
Okay, those molds need to be adjusted. The shippers are coming at noon, so we gotta get this done.
Like at Dennis's plastic startup. To stay flexible, he needs to get started hiring right away.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. And the moment you sponsor a job on Indeed, you get a short list of quality candidates from our resume database. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get a $75 credit for your first sponsored job post. Terms and conditions apply.
At First Bank Mortgage, their core purpose is to help you get to a better place. That better place may be a lower monthly payment, that vacation you thought was impossible, or getting into a home with a fenced backyard where your kids can play. To get into your better place, First Bank Mortgage makes decisions right here at home. Dedicated to helping you get to your better place, First Bank Mortgage. Call Daniel Mooney at 901-462-0145 today. NMLS 741022. Equal housing lender.
Did you know nearly 40% of men under 40 and over 75% of men over the age of 40 experience sexual performance concerns? At the Memphis Men's Clinic, their experienced physician performs a comprehensive evaluation that determines which specific issues may interfere with your sexual performance. These issues can vary and range from anxiety to medical issues, low testosterone, or erectile dysfunction. The Memphis Men's Clinic has evaluated hundreds of men of all ages over the years and reestablished a normal sexual life. The Memphis Men's Clinic will work aggressively to resolve issues and allow you to restore your sexual health and overall well-being. That's the Memphis way. If you're 20 years old or 90 years old, come and get cared for the Memphis way. Treatment that's based on your specific needs after a professional clinical evaluation by their experienced board-certified physician. Call the Memphis Men's Clinic today at 901-443-0475 or visit memphismensclinic.com.
Ain't no sunshine when she's gone.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Happy Hour with Johnny Radio. This hour of Sports 56 Happy Hour is brought to you by Tito's Vodka. Here once again is Johnny Radio.
Ain't no sunshine when she's gone, and she's always gone too long. Anytime she goes away, wonder this time where she's gone. Wonder if she's gonna stay. Ain't no sunshine.
Welcome back to a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I am your good buddy, Johnny Radio. Gabe Coons, my buddy. Follow him at G_Coons71. Never forget me at Johnny_Radio. And never forget the show. We are on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and check us out at sports56whbq.com. I'm chilling in the Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. Don't forget the Grizzlies play Atlanta tonight. The Grizzlies are on fire. They've won 7 of their last 10 ball games. Ja hadn't even done jack in the last few games, but guess what? The Grizzlies are winning. They're beating the brakes off of people. You know what I'm doing tonight? I am not a believer in Trae Young. I am not a believer in the Atlanta Hawks. I like the Grizzlies plus 2.5. Mr. Gabe Kuhn, are you going to jump on that wagon?
I'm probably going to stay away tonight just because the Hawks have been very, very good. Last night when they played, they had 11 straight threes somewhere in the third quarter. So they've been playing very well. They've been 13-4 since Nate McMillan took over duties as head coach. So I'm staying away tonight, although I think the Grizzlies, based off last night, can stick in the game.
I think you're right. I like the Grizzlies. I'm going to take them. I'm going to play it. I ain't going to lie to you. It is going to happen. One other thing I wanted to ask you, is Aaron Rodgers living his best life right now? Because he's done Jeopardy. Him and his girlfriend went to Cancun. They just had pictures of them in Disney World. They were wearing matching Star Wars stuff. And I want to ask this question, 70236. I've never seen Star Wars. Is it too late? Like, it feels like there's 50 of them. How many Star Wars are out there, Mr. Gabe Kuhn? And would you ever be a big Star Wars dork? Because Aaron Rodgers and Shailene Woods or whatever, they say that they basically got together because of a little Star Wars action. Like, have you ever watched it?
I've seen, a movie here and there.
You've seen one?
Yeah. I don't remember which one it was, to be honest with you.
I know there's a guy named Kermit.
I think it was Revenge of the Sith. Was that the 2000? It was like the early 2000s. They had one come out. I think it was Revenge of the Sith. But I don't know how many there are. That's above my pay grade, man. I'm not a big Star Wars guy, unfortunately.
And you're 25 years old?
Yeah.
Like, I thought all y'all watched television. Like, I watch
sports.
You sounded
so old right there, man.
Dude, I'm
sorry. I thought
sorry.
you all watch television. What kind of television program
What are you watching at home that you can't? I mean, like the Golden Girls.
Sports.
Was way back
I watch
then.
sports.
I watch sports.
Yeah, I've actually started Breaking Bad recently. I know everybody. I'm way late to that, but
Hold on, what's Breaking-
finally
wait.
got into it.
Wait
Walter
a second.
White, yeah,
The dude who does makes all the meth.
Yes.
Dude, I have a question for you. Have you ever taken any chemistry classes?
I have. It's hard.
So
It's
if you
tough.
just take chemistry classes, you can make anything?
I mean, if you take enough of them, I'm sure. Might have to take a lot.
By the way, I wanted to bring this up. Dodgers right now and the Athletics are playing. It's the top of the first. Dodgers are already up 1-0 on the Athletics. The Athletics have not won a game this year. They are 0-6. 0-6. And you know what? When you're playing the Dodgers, that's usually not a recipe for a win. Dodgers are up 1-0. I love that game. Braves and Nationals just started. Braves and Nationals top of the first 0-0. Don't forget, they've already played one game. Braves beat the brakes off of the Nationals. Not brakes, but they won 7-0. Reds, though. I told you about the dude who Mr. India got hit in the head with a 94-mile-an-hour fastball by Mr. Cool. It wasn't very cool. Mr. Chad could not stay in the game, but Mr. India did stay in the game. The Reds won that bad boy 11-4. Don't forget at 3:05. In like 10 minutes, you better take Philadelphia. Aaron Nola. They will win. The Mets have played 2 games. That's right, 2 games. They're 1-1. Philly, 4-1. They're at home. Aaron Nola is their best pitcher. Bryce Harper's hitting. Everything that's going on with the Phillies is great. And then don't forget tonight, a big, big, big game. We always talk about the Grizzlies, but I'm going to tell you another little secret. San Diego Padres, minus 45? Yeah, that's right. You know who's pitching for the Padres? Blake Snell. Blake is pitching. He does not have a win on this year. He came from Tampa Bay. You remember in the postseason last year, he is the man, the myth. He is the living legend. I'm taking the Padres, and I'm pounding them like it's going out of style. Make sure you thank me tomorrow at 70236 for winning you some money. What are we doing? Grizzlies, Padres, and we getting rich. Remember one thing, though? Tito's Vodka, top 10 vodka in the world. It's brewed right down here in Austin, Texas. It's actually stilled. That's right. That's what gives it a unique flavor. Slightly sweet, black pepper note, balancing out everything, whether you're making a kamikaze, cosmopolitan, or you're just drinking it neat. You'll love you some Tito's. I love me some Tito's. Coming up next, though, is Wallow and Stats. For Gabe Kuhn, I'm John Harden. I hope you all have a blessed day. Get out there, make the world a better place. I'll see y'all on the flip side. Peace.